everyone, what is up? George here from the Millionaire Project. Today's video, I just want to cover a general topic that we've seen floating around for quite a minute now, and that is regarding Amazon's stock split. So I've seen a few videos that are kind of going over the entire stock split, and they get really in depth, and I think it kind of gets away from what the main point is. So I just want to make a video that is short and simple, to the point, so that way everybody can understand what a stock split is and what Amazon is doing with their stock. So Amazon is going to be doing a stock split this year. Google also announced that they were doing a stock split this year, which this was announced back in February. So let's talk about what a stock split is. So first things first, a stock split will not change the value of a company. So right now, Amazon is trading around a $1.4 trillion market cap. So this means that the entire value of the company is $1.4 trillion. So how do we get this number? This comes from multiplying 458 million by 3,034. So let's just say 3,000 for simple terms here. So if we multiply those two numbers, you're going to get a market cap of $1.4 trillion. First thing to understand is that not all companies have the same amount of short shares available to the market. For example, Amazon has, as we just said, 458 million shares available to the market, whereas a company like Apple has, I believe, around 16 billion shares available to the market. So you can see a company like Apple has a lot more shares available to the market than Amazon does. So if we were to buy all of the shares of Amazon here right now today, you can only buy 458 million shares, which would basically mean that you own 100% of the company, almost 100%. So why does Apple offer 16 billion, but Amazon only offers 458 million shares? That simply just comes down to when the company debuts, or when they have their IPO, they only put out just an amount of shares to whereas there could be enough liquidity or buying and selling. Now, over time, if a company doesn't increase the amount of shares in the market, their price is going to continue to go up, and that is only if they are a public and healthy company. Obviously, Amazon has, since I believe the 90s has just been on an insane rally, and they've been growing as a company. I would arguably say one of the most successful companies of our time. But if you look at the last couple years, you could see that the company, it rallied, and as of late, it has started to flatten out a little bit. So it's around mid-2020 till about now, the company has just been moving sideways, and that's simply because the stock is a little bit too expensive for investors to want to buy. Especially a lot of young investors, they want to buy a stock that's cheaper. They don't want to spend $3,000 on a single share of a stock because they just think it's not going to give them enough value, and it's quite expensive. You look at something else that is much cheaper. Let's just say something like Apple, for example, much cheaper. You could get a lot more shares of Apple than you could for one share of Amazon. So what is Amazon doing with their stock split here? What Amazon is doing is they are multiplying their shares by 20. So if we take 458 million, which is how many shares they have, and we multiply it by 20, that is going to equate to around 90 billion shares available. So now we have 20 times the amount of available shares that are available to the market. So from 458 million, we now have 90 billion. So what this does is it's going to change the price of the share price. So this keeps the same market value, but it decreases the amount that you're paying per share. So this is increasing the amount of shares available and decreasing the cost of the share price. So if Amazon was to split today, you divide 3,000 by the 20, and the cost per share is going to be roughly $150 per share. So now you go from 3,000 to 150, and the market value remains the same. So what does this mean for Amazon, and what do we know about stock splits? So one of the biggest stock splits that we have had in recent years is the Tesla stock split. So if we look at Tesla here, you can see that they announced the stock split back in 2020, and they went on an enormous rally. If you've been following us, and if you're actually a member of our chat, we had hit a couple 1,000% options that we were holding on Tesla here. And this was before the stock split even happened. So why does this drive so many people? It's simply just a trend or popularity type thing. It doesn't necessarily mean that the company's going to be more valuable. It just means that people wanted to come in because of the hype around the stock split. Notice, like we said, it continued to rally. So people want to be a part of this and to be able to profit. Right after the stock split, notice what happened. They pulled back and continued to consolidate a little bit, but continued to move up and make new highs. So other companies that have done this, Apple, Nvidia, same concept. They had a stock split, they gapped up the next day, and they rallied all the way until the split date happened, and then they pulled back and consolidated for a bit. We saw this in all three of these companies. So does this mean that, is Amazon going to rally from here because they announced their stock split? Not necessarily, no, because we are now working with a much different environment than we were in 2020 and 2021. In 2020 and 2021, markets were just extraordinarily bullish. Stocks would move up over virtually anything. We would have a single piece of news and you'd have a 5-10% move in a stock every single day. So we aren't going to be expecting that right here. I believe Amazon's stock split is set for June, and I'm not going to be surprised as that time comes closer and closer that Amazon is going to rally because people are going to be getting more excited for the split. Just try to put this in the simplest way possible. I hope that makes sense. If you guys have any questions, comment down below. Please make sure to give us a like and subscribe to the channel. We are going to be posting more here. We're also going to be posting weekly SPY updates or overall market updates. And I'm going to try to get a little bit more of this type of video coming out, or more so of what we're looking at a technical standpoint rather than just an overall market analysis. So if you guys liked it, hope this makes sense. Thank you for checking in.